We are back now, and now we are here for the final game of the day on week number 8, day number 1. I'm Mazel, joined by Joshi, joined by Rafa. We're all here from the get-go. I don't know what to say. We have too much power. This is radiating from us right now.
Be careful what you're saying, Mazel, because if you say that, you're going to jinx my whole house again, and then I'm going to lose power.
Hey,
look,
it's not my
it's
fault.
probably going to be
running
me.
It off yourself. Come on.
It's probably going to be me that ends up like disappearing at some point, right? Because, you know, Lennon wasn't able to do all of his host bits. You were gone for a couple of games.
Technically.
Well, I guess I was gone at the very beginning.
That's what I'm about to say. You guys didn't see it, but when we were running tech rehearsals, Josh was just completely phased off the screen.
But hey, we've made it here. We're at the final game of the day. We're crossing the finish line at some point here the next little bit. And we've got to talk a little bit more about that first game cresting into the next game of this series because it's all about bot lane.
It's all about bot lane, right? We saw so much attention coming through from both junglers, both our Mayo and Tomio spending a ton of time down there. And while there were a couple of trades, the fact that Evil Genius's bot lane fell behind because of some good plays from Ayla and some aggressive positioning, they were able to put EG's primary point of power in a position where it didn't feel like it could do anything.
I think Team Liquid have just identified, whether they watch the Cowrie interview or not, that a lot of the momentum comes from Evil Genius's bot lane, right? I know, it makes me sneeze sometimes as well, and coming to that realization.
Bless you.
If the bot lane doesn't get off to a great start for Evil Geniuses, it seems like no one has the kind of emotional momentum or the heart to really bring the team together. And Team Liquid, they just get to be on full blast.
Yeah, it seems like there is definitely some shortcomings in when the game gets too far out in front of Evil Genius Academy, they kind of just fall into the moment a little bit. You want to see some of that cohesion kind of get pulled back in that mentality, kind of stay strong, especially for them. I want to talk a little bit more about this top lane, though. I know we were focusing on bot lane, but I got to check in here because our boy Bradley, you know, he's really coming together here in the end. And to be able to go up against Surdy, who is, you know, having himself a pretty darn good season, I think it's telling that, you know, the whole of Team Liquid Academy is coming together right when it matters.
Yeah, I've been really impressed so far with Bradley, right? In a similar way to how I look at Busio, who is fortunately still having a bit of a struggling season so far. Bradley's making a lot of the mistakes that you would expect somebody who is transitioning from mid lane to top lane, right? He's not always as familiar with some of the matchups, and he just doesn't have the same kind of repetitions in the top lane as a lot of our other top laners. And so oftentimes he will stand in a place that is slightly wrong that would make sense if you were a mid laner, but fortunately it doesn't quite work if you've been playing top lane from the beginning. And so as we start to see some of these play style changes come through, and as he understands these matches better and better, we're going to see less and less opportunities for other teams to attack.
I just want to say, Bradley, he did a pretty darn good job of almost not dying to the dive. It was a 3-man dive. almost not dying. Listen, because he used spells that normally would gap close to dodge on skill shots, right? And it took burning the flash as well as a summoner spell off of Evil Geniuses in order to get the kill. I mean, 3-man dive also usually is pretty doomed for Bradley at that point.
Yeah, also as a double impression. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, they're all dying. They're all dead.
So good.
Pretty good.
So good. I will say, though, there does seem to be a lot of volatility in this topside matchup, but also a lot of strength in terms of strategic gameplay through the top side of the match. Because for Evil Geniuses, for Surdy, when he gets a lead in the top side, it makes things so much easier to execute for Evil Geniuses. So obviously we're putting a lot of focus on bot lane, right? Cowrie is huge for Evil Geniuses, but I want to keep a side spotlight on how much priority they put in the draft for game 2 into the top side as well.
Oh, you sound like you want to do something.
Well, hey, it's perfect timing anyways. It's just, you know, we're all so happy to see each other on screen again all at the same time. It just gets us a little caught up for words. So I'm about to cry, so I'm just going to let you guys go and get us on ready to the next game.
Okay, stop cutting out all your onions. And
I got a tissue for you. So if you need it. Or actually, that's not a tissue.
That looks like a mask.
You're breaking my narrative, Josh. Don't break the fourth wall for the chat at home.
But they can see. They have eyes, Mark.
Yeah. All right. That didn't work out as well. Anyway. A thing I wanted to point out as well is that even though Evil Geniuses lost, Soligo also showed way more proactivity than we have seen kind of throughout a majority of the split, right? Soligo on the Ahri was meant to snowball the game, and as we talked about before, one of the many strengths for Soligo in the past was if he's not necessarily on a primary carry role, then a lot of his responsibilities have been trying to snowball some of his stronger side lanes in past when you look at things like the Dignitas Academy squad from last year.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I've been really excited to see from Soligo is when he has been willing to step up and play some of these more proactive champions. He does pretty well at them, right? When he is no longer feeling like he needs to be the primary horse for the team and kind of shot call people around, he looks pretty good individually. Unfortunately, he's playing Ahri against a Tom Kench and a Trundle. So not only do you have fewer targets, but one of them prevents you from going on any of your targets.
Pretty tough.
Tough.
Ever since Cubby started saying
Woof.
tough, now I feel like it's just the new word that's my go-to. Damn it, Cubby.
Damn it.
I mean, for the most part, Cubby does add good words to my vocabulary, since sometimes I run a little limited, but, you know, then I like him too much, and then it's like, Cubby, I need new words. I need a new Cubby word of the week.
You ever notice how when you are like hanging out with somebody for long enough, eventually you just get, you know, you just borrow the vocabulary. For
You start to talk like them. You borrow their vernacular, and then it just rubs off on you, and suddenly you're saying things like, yes.
Yes. There was one in high school, not high school, during college, where my friends, we stopped using words as much, and we'd often just go like all the time at each other.
Yeah.
And it was just like an acknowledgement for everything, and we would just like stop doing that. And so we had a couple of people specifically say like, man, I really enjoy how you guys don't say anything, you just kind of click at each other. And so I know a couple of people specifically added that to their vocabulary over time, but I haven't done that like at all in years, as we see the exact same draft.
Yeah, I was about to say, if we're in Smash, this is a salty run back if I've ever seen one. All the bans are pretty much the same as well. Rise, Karma, Zeri off the table. Same reflected for Team Liquid. So, if more than anything, we should see Catfish come out. Unless... Now, technically...
This isn't Tinder, though.
What? Oh.
Catfish.
Oh,
Although he does kind of catfish people. It's like, oh, that looks like a pig.
I'll give you that one. Yeah, it's a salty run back for the first 3 rounds of the draft. Now, there can be some pivots.
Whole thing. Whole thing.
Do you want the whole thing?
Run it back.
The whole thing to be ran back?
Honestly, I thought both drafts were mostly okay. The biggest thing is, like, I was not super thrilled with the Graves, because, like, if the Graves does not stomp the Jace, then what does it do? Honestly, like, it doesn't do a whole lot. Like, I think you need a bit more of a front line to actually create space for the rest of the team, because, you know, Surdy played the matchup fine, right? But you can't just do fine against Jace, right? Jace is going to outscale you because he's going to outrange you, and you are not going to have a fun time.
There's the change in the draft.
There's the wrinkle.
No more Jace.
Gotten old. Yeah. No more wrinkle cream. So we will see what it is that the rest of Evil Geniuses want to do. I believe it was Ahri and then Jace Victor coming out, and before we finally ended with the Grave. So there's still a lot of opportunities for very similar drafts to come through. The Ahri still makes a lot of sense, but Ahri also still kind of struggles against the Trundle and the Tom Kench, like we said earlier. So now as we see the first ban change, we see another ban change, and it means that Evil Geniuses have to try and find something new.
Well,
I hate new.
I want to recall what was the last ban after the Trinamir for Team Liquid, because it wasn't the Jax. Can you call on your memory, Josh, real quick?
No. Twitch chat knows, but I don't. As the Orianna does end up coming through for Evil Geniuses right now, it does mean that they have a bit more in terms of engage, but a bit less in terms of pick coming out for the side of Evil Geniuses. And think of something witty to say, because for the most part, this draft is still almost entirely the same from the previous game. There's not a whole lot of new things to go through, but they go back to it because it worked. Mostly for Team Liquid. Not as much for Evil Geniuses.
You get a little bit more utility, speed ups for the Volibear. You can also wombo combo. I was about to say, hello, you already have Jinx. You can't pick
That
Draven.
was the ban. That was the ban.
Le
Yeah, it's
Camille. Okay. Blind
Yeah.
pick Camille for Bradley. But the other thing, I want to go back to this Orianna pick, why this is such an important change, is because it does not put Soligo so much on a timer to play as proactively and look to roam as much with the Orianna. But when you group up with your team for objective points, you have greater choke point holds.
True. I mean, Ahri is not nearly as good. And Harry, going back to one of his tried and true characters, Azir
Interesting.
doesn't always deal with the same kind
It's
of
the bird.
range issues that Victor can deal with in the early game. But I feel like Harry's like the only Azir player, basically anywhere right now. There's like not a whole lot of people who really pull out this champion all that often, but it creates a lot of space and it makes it very difficult for characters like the Volibear to get in, and the Set can have a lot of the same issues if they can't come through. But Set going to be a pile driving people right on over the wall and dumping them right in our Harry's
And this
lap.
is exciting for Evil Geniuses because this is the first time this series and in a while that Surdy is now giving engage power or follow-up engage power.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, this is an RLS draft if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
Yep. Well, we'll get back to that at another point because Team Liquid are going out with something where they are willing to just brawl right on back, and it's going to be a lot of emphasis on how Harry is going to be positioning in these later game team fights. And that's something where he has had a lot of mixed success, right? Again, we keep talking about this. He looks best when he comes out of lane with more than just CS lead. He looks best when he is enabled to actually go for a lot of these plays. And on a character like Azir, I'm waiting for the scoop.
The scoop to whoop.
Scoop.
It's some people say the Shurima
Showing your
shuffle.
age.
We call it the sand scoop over here.
The sand. What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Shurima is a desert, right? So it's a bunch of sand.
Yeah,
So it's the sand scoop.
but it already has a name. Are you just giving it another one to confuse the audience?
Potentially.
Okay. Well, if you start
It's
hearing
for
us
fun,
talk about
man.
the sand scoop,
Relax.
This-
Academy.
I hate
Ugh,
fun.
You hate fun. And what are you doing here, boy? Get out of here. I'll call him Mazel.
Okay, go
Mazel
boy.
can be a good.
Mazel, come over
yeah,
here.
Mazel,
We're
color
done.
caster for me. Josh doesn't want to have fun anymore. He's had too much of Academy.
Yeah. Well, we are in our final week. We got a lot of super League of Legends to be going on as we are loading into our last game of the day. Nothing super surprising coming out at the beginning, but again, Team Liquid, to reiterate where they are at, they were starting in fourth, couple games ahead, and now I believe that does in fact put them 4 games ahead, depending on how people were at the beginning of the day. And as they continue going further than that, now that they are looking to push Evil Genius down even further, Evil Genius is 2 games behind where they would like to be in the 6th place spot.
All right, Josh. How chaotic do you want me to be this game? Because last game I was pretty much off the walls, and we
Like a lemur in a rave.
really that much.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't tell me you didn't ask for
I'm
this.
calling you the Boomafu.
Oh, that was a good show, man.
Some of the Zoomers are being like, it's a Boomafu?
I-
Is he even speaking English? No, I think it's actually Madagascar.
Oh.
Ian.
All you need to know about Zabumafu is one of the greatest shows of all time, and if you didn't grow up with it, it's a shame you missed out, but it's okay.
Yep. I make fun of Zoomers a lot, I feel. But let's be real, they deserve it for being born after me, so, what can you
Dude,
do?
the narcissism.
Anyway.
Unreal. A nice little ward early, though. Is going to spot out if Tomio goes for the Raptors in his first grill, which more than likely will happen. It operates on both either the full clear or the 3-cam clear if he wants to end up on the bottom side of the map.
Yep. 30. Bang, bang.
That's not bang bang. He's got fists. It's yeah.
Bish bash. Yeah, okay. I will go back to a bit more of my Batman watching at some point. But Tomio is going to get spotted doing both these camps at the same time, and Armeo...
He's gonna,
Oh, also get spotted. Okay. I was unsure if he was going to recognize that was there and try and hide where he's going and actually pulling the Raptors. But it is a situation where both junglers are known where they are, and it is known that they are going for mirrored starts. And Tomio indicating his intention to go for a full clear minus Krugs. And Armeo looking to be skipping over and potentially going for a bit of an earlier gank, but he's also warded out. So there is an opportunity for Evil Geniuses to put their bottom lane ahead.
so Evil Geniuses are heavily pushing both on the bottom lane, on the top lane. For Kaori and Sir Skytech, this is okay, because they're going to have Tomio in their back pocket to protect them for and hover. However, Sturdy, he's the one that has to be a little bit more defensive because Armeo is about to end up in his area.
Yeah, and a good trade coming out from Bradley also means that he can start threatening a freeze here up against Sturdy. That's something that you'll like to see. That takes a little bit more experience coming out in the top lane. And now, Sturdy's going to be in a really awkward position for a little while because he doesn't necessarily know exactly where Trundle is, because Trundle going back for a very unusual route, having done the blue buff, Gromp, and now doing Wolves, and going to be moving towards the bottom lane.
Mind games being played well by Bradley, because forcing Sturdy into a spot where, yes, he has the river warded, but he has no idea if Armeo would go for, you know, what we said was a Rose Thorn gank, where he snuck all the way across the river and around the Baron pit just to punish Sturdy overextending. And Sturdy has to respect that potential.
Yeah, I mean, this is still a Rose Thorn path as well, right? Where a Rose Thorn went from one side to the other, and Sturdy.
Oh, Sturdy! I mean, he still wins the 1v1. And you know what he was trying to do. He was trying to predict if Bradley was going to get out and dodge, but he corners him as well with the flash. It's first blood for Sturdy, which is huge. Skytech, however, trying to go for it, but Cowrie and Skytech, they get the 2v2 kill. Ayla trades one back, and Cowrie flashes the Abyssal Dive, and Evil Geniuses, they're up on the board, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, you know exactly what happened there, right? Because you saw the traps going backwards from Jan. He tried to flash, but got rooted and didn't have an opportunity to do it in time. So just a bit of a fat finger there as things go back and forth. Means that it is just going to be a win coming out from Skytech in a 2v2. That's not what we were expecting to see happen up against Jan and Ayla.
This is huge, and I want to get a replay back of top lane. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm down for watching this, because the way that Sturdy was able to manage this against Bradley gives him a huge now presence in lane, but we're not going to be able to see it fully through because Cowrie trying to step forward, get this freeze crashed in, but Armeo is here to punish.
Yeah, Jan barely escaping the light binding there at the very end. That could have been a kill traded back from Skytech if he had landed that. But it is, again, just a 2-for-2 across the map. And Harry and Saligo, neither of them have a whole lot of menace, but it's mostly just auto attacks. And Orianna, some pretty good ones of those. But it will mean that Tomio has a bit more freedom down to take some away some of these chicken nuggies on the opposite side of the map, because Armeo is spending his time in the lanes.
A bear is a carnivore, and it does like chicken. Actually,
Me too.
bears typically eat fish. I don't think I've ever seen a bear eat.
They mostly eat berries and nuts, actually.
Oh my god, you're right. I am not informed.
Nuts.
That is my bad. I hope any true bear fans are not offended.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Bears fans mostly drink beer.
Looking at you, Cubby.
Bradley looking for a dive. They got Armeo up here. That's a lot of damage.
No flash available from Sturdy before. Nice use of the Haymaker to get a fat shield. However, Armeo still has the pillar, and he is walking him down, but it's going to be enough that Sturdy gets to stay alive.
Yeah, true. Armeo is not the kind of guy to yell for the extra power, right? You know, it's a little bit too embarrassing. Instead of just going roar, he's just like, oh, well, I think I got this guy. Oh, just kidding. Gonna be backing up. But now, Skytech looking for an opportunity. They're bringing everybody down for a dive.
Now, Sturdy is really trying to walk up on forward. Hold up. It's Sturdy? Okay, he still has the Haymaker shield, but he's...
Bonk.
Okay, I'm not sure what that was, but you know what? On the bottom side of the map, Evil Geniuses, however, are committing everything towards this bottom lane dive, and Cowrie will be snowballed. Okay. You know what?
Executed.
Thankfully, it wasn't execute. It wasn't a death going over to Team Liquid.
Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest thing in the world, but hey, the results are still the same. Evil Geniuses getting a bunch of kills down here in the bottom lane, 2 of them, and we get to see exactly how this goes through, because it is a little tough trying to make everything happen at the same time, but Ayla having his W interrupted by the shockwave puts him in a really tough position, and you see how many traps are just like centered around the turret. It is impossible for Jan to try and navigate that, and ends up going down in a very clean fashion, but the gold lead remains very close between the two teams, less than 300, and is almost immediately tied back up as we see Jan and Ayla return to bottom.
Evil Genius is playing with a lot more fire and gusto this time around in Game 2, which I'm all down for. Yeah, the execution is not quite 100%, but you know what? It's okay, Josh. Evil Geniuses, they're trying.
Right. They do the right thing.
Right.
They try they go for the right plays.
They're doing the right thing. They're just not doing it always right, but it's okay. That's what we want to see from Evil Geniuses.
That's what we're here for.
Team Liquid is a very strong opponent, and they're not going to be taken down easily. So Evil Geniuses, they might slip and stumble, but if they can still cross the finish line, then that's all you want as an Evil Geniuses fan.
Jump.
However, Surdy, you got to be careful about how you're playing this one. It is a 1v2. It's a lot of burst damage back onto Bradley, but it's still going to be your death in the end. Armail picks it up.
Yep. Oh, Harry.
Nice! The sand scoop flash, baby! Soligo's got nowhere to go. He tries to flash over, but the abyssal dive, beautifully covered by Ayla, still captures him on the retreat.
Yeah, good prediction coming out from Ayla, right? He has to do that before the flash comes through, making sure he is in range. And so Team Liquid firing right on back, but the gold lead still remains pretty similar between these two teams. And Cowrie getting a couple more plates. This bottom lane is going much more successful for Evil Geniuses than it was last time. And as Cowrie does hit level 6, notice the fact that Skytech is also level 4. They're giving him so much solo experience so far in this game. And with Tomio coming down, there's a big fight.
Gotta be careful about those traps. However, Abyssal Dive is great from Ayla. Locks down Skytech, the pillar, giving the slow as well to guarantee the kill. Skytech has nowhere to run. Tomio's waiting in the wings. But can he really fight a 1v1 against Armail, or yet a 1v3 if Jan and Ayla come and support it? Oh, he's not even seen. Wait, whoa. Yo, Tomio, what you trying to do? You trying to...
Dude, this is that 1v1 me bro moment, right? We saw that clip right before it happened. Is these two guys... Okay, never mind. There's nobody left to 1v1. Tomio is just hanging out.
Boom! Wait!
Dude, they're going to see him, and Armail's going to be like, what?
Wait. What is the plan here? Is Tomio waiting for Jan to show up, and then he's just going to solo him?
Oh my...
Is that the play? He still has flash and heal, so you might be able to burn summoner spells. Wait, but Cowrie's recalling. I don't know what is actually gonna... Man! Why would you...
He's still there!
Okay, go for the play. You still have ultimate. Gonna disable the turret. Ohm Wrecker in the spirit of Mad Magical. And they got a plate, and they got a flash.
That was one of the wildest things I've ever seen. He stood there waiting, knowing he wasn't on a ward, and knowing that Armail never saw him, and knowing that they would have no idea that he's there, because Armail, like, just pathed the other direction. Like, there's no real way for Tomio to get down there, and so, you know, they get the ultimate for flash trade. I mean, was it worth it? I don't know. You could have farmed, like, 3 camps for that, but at the same time, it was cool. I liked the idea.
Can you imagine Jan's reaction to just, like, walking up to the turret, and then suddenly there's just a big from Tomio? It's like, dude, what the why is he here? And that's probably just the reaction from players in general. They're not, like, scared. They're just like, wait, why are you here?
Nani? What is happening? Yeah, so that's definitely a cool idea coming out from Tomio. A little bit ambitious, and if there was no flash on Jan, I could have believed in the play. Instead, you know, it's okay. I can think of better usages of the time, but we'll see what else Tomio can do, because he's not that far behind, even with the 2 kills going over to Armail, because the farm lead is there, and Tomio also has access to the first Infernal Dragon, so he does a bit of extra damage. And with position on this first dragon, we'll see if they can do anything.
Oh, Harry was looking for the sand scoop, but just not close enough. Too much movement speed from Soligo thanks to the phase rush proccing. Distance himself beautifully. Tomio starting up the dragon. But Armail is poking his head around. Skytech and Cowrie are here first because Jan and Ayla were pushed back by the wave. Harry's being called in. It's like, yo, bro, I'm trying to get this dragon, but it's a little too late. Evil Geniuses now have the first 2 dragons of the game. And Josh, I know you like dragons, and I know you like timers.
True, they are in fact some of my favorite things.
You can lie
like
if you don't actually like
timers.
them. I was just trying to set you up about talking about how the team gets put on the clock now.
Oh well, I do like clocks as well, and I do like watches.
You like a lot of things. I like that about you.
I like a lot of things, and Bradley also likes Surdy.
Now,
looking cute over there, Surdy. I did. Okay.
Damn it.
So we are back in a position where Harry, coming out of lane with a small CS lead, about 20, once again, is now in a position where he is going to be asked questions in the mid game on whether or not he can step up. He had 1 good shroom shuffle or a sand scoop, and he had 1 that was a little bit lacking. And so now the rest of the team needs to move around as Harry gets caught.
You calling it sand scoop gives me as much validation as when Star-Lord gets called Star-Lord.
But Armail.
Oh, Armail, yo. Armail, bro! I was a little too far close to the sun, my boy. But it's okay, Soligo gets traded back. Ayla helping out Harry in the mid 2v1 skirmish here. But so Rift Herald will be awarded to Evil Geniuses.
That's a third straight objective getting picked up by Evil Geniuses, right? Team Liquid are not playing around these objectives. Instead, just going for a lot of these kills. They only have a small lead there, but Bradley recognizes that there is a big mean bear, should be looking to get out of here, or he's at risk of getting dove again. Just kidding, no risk.
I was waiting for the dive.
Gucci.
You know, they have the Ohm-Wrecker ulti, aka Stormbreaker. You know, I feel like Mad Magical should have Volibear be his like new spirit animal, since it has the ultimate of his long gone favorite item now.
True. Oh, Bradley. Giving a smooch.
Ooh, but it's a showstopper right under the tower, but it's only one turret shot, so Bradley's not phased, so he doesn't get that much damage against him. And now this is setting up for Armeo to say, yo, this guy's got nowhere to run. But
Ayo.
Surdy flashes away. And now Tomio's here, the 2v2. Oh, but the Hextech Ultimatum locks him down, Armeo. He doesn't have subjugate. Surdy looking for the burst damage. It's still in Team Liquid's favor. GG, well played. Well, not GG quite yet, but sometimes those moments can feel pretty damn detrimental.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference, right? Haymaker's on such a long cooldown that it wasn't up for the second part of that fight. And it might have been the difference between Bradley living and dying. So the rest of the map is going to be going in favor of Team Liquid, even though they're losing objectives.
Oh, nice Gale Force from Cowrie. Devour from Ayla is going to give him a shield. Final Spark, he flashes it. Oh my god, Yawn! They turn around this 2v2. I thought for sure that Evil Geniuses had it in their favor, but Team Liquid are the ones that are victorious across all sides of the map.
Oh my god, that has to be so disheartening when you lose that 2v2 on the bottom side. Team Liquid once again coming out ahead in these interactions. It's not the team play, it's not the macro that's winning them. It's just the fact that they are winning all the mechanical checks. They're winning all the aim battles across the map. And now Tomio, he can try and find something.
Ayla is still here. The flash forward from Tomio. Does he have enough damage down? One more on attack as it's needed. No! And Yawn, don't do him dirty like that. Throws out. Oh! No, he still has enough movement speed to walk out. Abyssal dive is there, and now Tomio might have overextended, but Ayla doesn't have the dive, but it's the flash forward from Harry. The sand scoop puts him under the tower. This is craziness. Skytech is now here. Final Spark onto Harry. He might have dipped too forward, and now it's a teleport coming in from Soligo. I hope you got your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen, because it is a party. It is a fiesta, but Evil Geniuses will not be undeterred. They will be fighting back.
Oh my gosh, all over the map. Team Liquid punish the fact that Tomio comes through and ooh, nice
Surdy,
ult.
showstopper, interrupts the hook shot, and Surdy wins the 1v1 right in the face of Armeo, even with the subjugate going on. Armeo takes him out, gets vengeance for his fallen top laner, but you can see the gusto, you can see the resilience that Evil Geniuses are having despite being down.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're still willing to try it and go for all these plays. Tomio roaring in. And look at the fact that there's a lot of twos in the EG score lines, right? They're looking for opportunities to be part of everything across the board. But with another dragon coming up, remember, we are already 2 to the clock, right? 2 minutes to midnight for Team Liquid. Mountain Soul would be ridiculously difficult for them to overcome based on how tanky both Set and Volibear would become. So Team Liquid trying to come back and make sure that Evil Geniuses do not pick up another dragon for free.
We already talked about before that Evil Geniuses had the dragon advantage, but with Team Liquid's numbers spiraling in first into the pit, that gives them priority, have this objective in their favor. They even throw down the Rift Herald from Evil Geniuses to somewhat slow them down. Yawn and Ayla are currently busy with it, but they take it down, and Evil Geniuses still haven't regained control yet.
Watch this Shuriman shuffle from Harry. Okay, he's on a ward, less exciting, but still looking for this angle on the side.
He's poking over the wall. You know what happens when you poke the bear gets angry, but Tomio might not have enough anger to really fight back against Team Liquid. Now it's all 5 members against 5. The rest of Evil Geniuses, they're on the ward. Skytech hits him with the light binding, but doesn't throw out this final spark just yet. Just keeps Harry marked here. Armeo has the dragon now at 3k HP. It's a slow dance between the two teams right now. Tomio looking to get in there. Showstopper onto Bradley. Huge face breaker. And now the rest of Evil Geniuses, they find Bradley on the flank. But what the heck? The shockwave didn't hit? It didn't hit, and now the shuffle from Harry finds all 5 of them. Oh my goodness, it's a disaster. The dragon goes over to Team Liquid. The kills go over to Team Liquid. It's a full wide ace.
The shockwave not landing there, man. That was crucial. Harry was not part of that fight. You even see the spooked crowd that entire time, but watch how Evil Geniuses plays. They're in perfect position. They get their way onto Jan and Ayla, but then the shockwave isn't close enough. It doesn't catch Jan and Ayla a second time, and it gives Harry, who has not participated in this fight at all until the very end, a 3-man Shuriman shuffle, locking all of them down, and what looked like a good fight for Evil Geniuses ends up being a disaster.
Team Liquid had been fighting tooth and nail with an Evil Geniuses who were very, very confident in still fighting back despite losing out on many advantages in the early game. But Team Liquid, you can see why this team is so damn good. And it's going to be one of the two teams that we are looking at projected at the top of the standings. Their control, their understanding of the game, and how their patience rewards them. Now SkyTech, I mean, he's caught out. There's no way out of that one. Evil Genius is on the back foot.
Looked like a bunch of seagulls from Finding Nemo. Mine. Bradley's the one who picks it up at the very end. And at this point, you start to feel really bad, right? Surdy got the first solo kill and is now struggling. Suffer bus. Pain. Not a whole lot. Needs to go find some maidens. And the rest of Team Liquid are just going to slowly beat up the rest of his team because he can't do anything in the side lane, really. He is significantly behind, and he's going to be falling further behind.
I don't know about a maiden, but I can talk about a bird, and the bird is gone. Tomio gets the shutdown.
All right. Well, good play. But this is something that we often look at, right? This is one of the downfalls for Team Liquid, is sometimes they do that, right? Sometimes they will just walk into places without considering whether or not their opponents can be there, and it's often been a downfall for Harry in particular. So if Evil Geniuses can look for that, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for them to be really aggressive around some of these upcoming objectives.
I know I'm taking quite a longer pause here, Josh, but I'm just really trying to put together how Evil Geniuses get back, if it's not just a string of picks, because there's moments like this where Soligo is a little overextended. You've got multiple teleports coming in as well to cut off the path of retreat. Evil Geniuses trying to do their best to get in as reinforcements, but Tomio has been routed off. Ayla and Jan are dealing with the bear right now. Kaori and SkyTech doing their best to help, but they cannot match the damage output of a 2-item Jinx. Kaori flashing away and using the Gale Force Super Mega Death Rocket. He dodges out on it, but the pressure from Team Liquid forces 2 members down.
Dodging the zap in such a weird way from Kaori ends up working out, right? Because they do end up having enough movement speed to get out, but living is a consolation prize at this point, right? They're going to be losing the Baron. Team Liquid looking to take total control, and Ayla providing a screen as SkyTech and Kaori.
Surdy has the angle for this, but it's 1200 HP on the Baron. The Baron has already been taken down. Surdy can't get into the backline. He's looking for the flank, but beautifully marked off by Armeo. The pillar stops him in his tracks, and before the showstopper goes off, he gets annihilated. Team Liquid have every inch of this map in their control.
Yeah, I love the fact that Harry actually just kind of ignores Surdy and is like, Armeo, deal with this guy for me, as like a real Emperor would, because he knows he can't. He needs to create space between himself and Surdy. As Armeo deals with that, we get to see, right, when Tom Kench is coming from 5-4, it is difficult to dodge his W. It is difficult to do much of anything, and even though Jan ends up stepping on a trap, it doesn't matter. The damage isn't there. The stuns come through, and it's just a total win across the board for Team Liquid. They're now 9,000 gold in the lead. They're looking to pick up another dragon, and just as we were saying, it's tough to overcome 2 mountain dragons for Evil Geniuses. It's the same thing on the other side, because Ayla and Armeo be nearly impossible to take down.
Armeo's gonna find himself face first of a Bear Fist, flashes away, pops the Subjugate, Super Mega Death Rocket as poke damage. It's poke gold for you, Josh, but it doesn't necessarily force Evil Geniuses away from contesting the dragon, because there's still 20 seconds to regain control. But the turret will fall, and now Team Liquid are just further strangling Evil Geniuses out of this game. Tomio, is this a little too far? That pillar is great from Armeo. Where can Tomio go? He has no flash. Has to use the Stormbreaker to get over the wall. The Blast Cone over. He gets to his allies. Can he get out? There's no more damage coming out, but Harry from on the wall, still not enough. Surdy might have given his life to try and just salvage something for Evil Geniuses, but he goes down, and nobody traded from Team Liquid.
Yeah, Joy, I'm sorry. Oh, Jan.
Whoa.
That was bold.
Jan is sub 300
Jan's done
HP.
that like 3 or 4 times today.
Jan is literally teetering on the balance of life and death right now, but him walking that line has been so...
He hasn't gotten punished
Yeah.
yet. Like, he's clearly doing it right, so, you know, props to him on that regard. But Team Liquid going to be starting up this dragon as well. 2 Mountain Dragons going over to Team Liquid is a lot of extra stats that are being delivered their way, and 12,000 gold ahead. Every little bit adds up. So, Team Liquid, they take almost everything outside of the base from Evil Geniuses. And again, I feel like so much of it has been coming off the back of Ayla. Like, he's finding all these aggressive moves, but more importantly than that, he's keeping Jan alive. And so even in situations where Jan might go down with any other support, he's creating enough space that they can't do anything. They can't find the last bit of damage because Ayla is always there to eat up his AD carry.
Two Mountain Dragons to their name for Team Liquid. And for Evil Geniuses,
Where's my Zabuma
yeah,
from?
they are staring down the barrel of a very, very powerful team. 13,000 gold down, Josh.
Shelly. I wonder if they're actually going to end with a dancing Shelly. They don't have any Baron left anymore.
You know what?
but
That's
they
the challenge
will
for Team
definitely
Liquid
yeah,
right there.
There's no way. There's
See?
no way. There's
Speed
no way.
run.
Speed run? Well, it's already 24
Okay,
minutes,
well, not
so
speed run,
they
but
don't even get the...
all right, I take the challenge back. They can't manage to get Shelly down. But you know what? Props to Evil Geniuses. I mean, this is a very, very, very hard game to come back from. One might say unwinnable at this point, but Evil Geniuses, they're still trying. And if you compare the Evil Geniuses at the beginning of the split, whenever they were in states like this, they just kind of rolled over and gave up. But now you see Tomio still pressing forward, looking for anything. They're not going to be deterred by the fact that they are down 13,000 gold. They're still going to try, but it's the 4-man sand scoop from Terry. Gets the scoop to whoop on all of them, and once again, all 5 members are wiped in Team Liquid. They are showing why they're going to be one of the top teams going into Proving Grounds from the Academy League.
Dude, Harry's stepping up in this game too, having a huge opportunity to find some of these sand scoops in order to make sure the rest of his team are able to clean up the rest of the fight. But it all comes down. Ayla, my man, looking so hot today, just having a great time. I hope you're free during Proving Grounds because, you know, I'll be there. There's plenty more opportunities for you to showcase what you can do and why you might be the second best support.
Oh my God! Stop the the bullying! You guys won.
my fantasy points.
I feel like Armeo was like, "Hey, wait for Tomio to get up. We gotta clown him one more time. Gotta. It's all about sending a message, not necessarily protecting the KDA."
Yeah. True. Well, with that, we see Team Liquid improve to 5 games ahead of where they needed to be at the beginning of the day. And so they are very securely in a spot where they can no longer drop beneath the top 6 based on how the other teams have done. And that means that they are definitely going to be getting past the first round of Proving Grounds and going directly to the double elimination.
Well, you already know what it is, Josh. So with the end of that series, we still have a little bit of a post-show to close out the game. But in order to set up for that, we're going to throw to a short break. So make sure you stick around because we got a few more things to say before we close out the end of the day.
Welcome on back, everyone, as we are here for the final parts of day number 1, week number 8 in the LCS Academy. Oh, we're back. Yes, maybe so. I think you can still hear my voices, even if we're not on screen. So, guys, it was the day. Rafa coming in clutch with the last series calls. Thank you for having your power back and powering your entire neighborhood off of your energy. I just want to say thank you. Although it is tradition to get an encore at the end.
You want me to cast
show,
another game?
Yeah, have fun.
I mean, I want you to do another show like you had when you came back for the first time. I mean, I don't know. That was impressive. But like I said, like it's tradition to do an encore. So
Yeah, that'll be for the Twitter, a Twitter angle.
We'll see. Twitter.
Fine. All right.
Sorry,
guys,
Twitch
no,
chat.
Seriously, we had an entire day of games. It was a fun one. Let's go ahead and throw up the recap of the day and see what we didn't get to see on stream B, as we'll get all the scores up for you here pretty quickly, hopefully, because we did have almost a day of ties, except for this last series, because it went 1-1 on the other stream.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of this recently where there's a lot of teams just going 1-1 and anybody can kind of beat anybody. I am kind of impressed, really, that FlyQuest were able to take a game off of CLG in this last spot. And I'm curious what this does to the standings, right? When almost every team just goes like up one game, it means that the standings don't change a whole lot because everybody is still where they were before with the same differences previously. And the fact that Team Liquid continue to push down Evil Geniuses a little bit can only help some of the other teams in the blob.
It's the clump.
Okay.
Speaking of war, and like the fact that we have the 1 to 10 all in front of us with a little bit of that bottom clump, as I was talking about, still strong there with all the 2s and the 3s. It's the top of the table I want to look at, because maybe I'll give this one the name of the blob, but there's 4 teams that are all pretty close to each other, but at least that top of the table is pretty tight.
Yeah. I feel like Team Liquid are on the up and up. Cloud9 and CLG are struggling to find their footing in the second half of the round robin. But I also want to point out that at this point, FlyQuest need a miracle in order to make top 6 and get past the first round robin, whereas TSM are now officially out of reach and will have to play in the sudden death.
So a little bit of all or nothing on the line there for TSM in the end of things. 1 best of 3. As we were kind of highlighting too at the beginning, that's kind of scary. Not gonna lie. But guys, after this long day of games and fun technical difficulties, what are your final thoughts before we go ahead and look at tomorrow?
Josh, you want to go?
Oh, okay, fine. If you will insist and twist my arm, I've been really excited with all these teams, and the biggest thing is all about developing new talent, seeing where people are going. And I mean, I feel a little bit vindicated that Team Liquid was a team that I was expecting to do really well at the beginning of the season, and then now that they are back with all the boys, we are seeing that they are rapidly climbing the standings. I believe this means that they have won like 9 of their last 10 or 12 games, right? They are on a massive winning streak at this point. If they continue like this, they could very easily be our first seed by the end of the season.
They definitely could be. Mark, do you have any closing thoughts on the day, at least, before we get into
apart from the Team Liquid Evil Geniuses 2-0, like you said, 1-1 just means how competitive this league is overall, right? And I think that's what makes Academy so exciting, because yes, Academy standings will dictate, one placement of a team and their relative strength to another one that they face. But yet, at the end of the day, it's all about how a player comes into the game, how a team comes together as a 5-man unit. And that can always change. And not just for Academy, because we are getting ready for the start of Proving Grounds next week. And that's when things are going to get very, very exciting, because you're going to have amateur teams playing up against Academy teams. And sometimes we've seen amateur teams in the past be the wild cards that have upset some of our Academy teams and sent them home before the main event started.
Wild card red.
Well, let's look at the games we have as we're inching closer and closer to that Proving Grounds. Tomorrow we will have Immortals Progressive Academy taking on Dignitas Quantipe Academy. Oh my god, that's a mouthful of a phrase. Team Liquid Academy taking on Cloud9 Academy. Then 100 Thieves Academy taking on FlyQuest Academy. This will be on twitch.tv/academy. Saying Academy like 20 times right there.
Woo.
And then on twitch.tv/ Face It TV, that's changing up. CLG Academy taking on Golden Guardians Academy. TSM Academy taking on Evil Geniuses. It's a must-win matches.
Yeah. I mean, we got 2 top of the table matches coming tomorrow, right? You have CLG versus Golden Guardians on Face It TV, and then you also have Cloud9 taking on Team Liquid. So some heavyweights going to be throwing punches right at the end of the season, and this will probably determine what their final standings are very likely to be, because we can expect that they will at worst go 1-1 against most of the other teams, and this will put them in striking distance of that ever coveted first seed, meaning that you will get to play. You will have a much easier path towards actually making it towards first place.
Indeed. So, well, guys, it has been a wonderful one. Thank you for joining us, Rafa, and getting your power back. Thank you, Joshi, for sticking it with us all day long and have a nice little solo cast at the beginning of the day. Thank you to production for sticking with all the punches that we're throwing your guys' way, and to the audience for staying with us the entire way through. It's been a wonderful night, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, and on Summoner's Rift.